at some point, talking about with boldness has become a hazard. Become a hazard. I don't know if you see it that way. I don't know if in your world that you live in, whether Christian school or Christian parents or Christian neighbors or Christian church or wherever you spend time with and whoever you find yourself surrounded by, have you had an opportunity to talk with boldness to whoever is listening in a way that it would become hazardous to your life? There are hazards you face for being bold. There are hazards you face for being a Christian. All right? They're very unique to our generation. All right? But you will find there are some activities, some things you might say that are very risky to say. All right? So, let's play some out. You tell me, what do you think talking about is very risky? If you were talking to unsaved people, what would be risky that they might take offense at?
Jesus. Talking about Jesus.
Obviously. This is what I found that you might realize, though, that if you just talk about spiritual things, most people don't take offense. If you just talk about the Lord, most people don't take offense. People take offense when you specify that it should be about Jesus Christ, because he's a very offensive person. We know that. What else might people take offense at?
Their sins and that they deserve to be in
Pardon?
hell. Their sins and that they deserve to be in hell.
Whenever you talk about sin in America, we'll put this over here. I didn't know how I was going to decide it. And not just sin. Let's say that you want to talk about a very specific sin. What's the hazard?
People who pursue to judge you.
People what?
You're judging others based on their characters.
People accuse you of being judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you meant.
Yep.
People accuse you of being judgmental. So, guess what? The average Christian doesn't want to have that reputation, that testimony, that everybody thinks I'm just judging them. So they start the conversation off with, don't judge me. I don't want to be judged. Well, yeah, nobody wants to be judged. But we're not really talking about a person. We're talking about an activity, a behavior. So, some of the specific sins that really, really get people crying out against you, that make it hazardous for your health, not necessarily physical, but emotional and your social health, you talk to people about what? What kind of sin?
Homosexuality.
Homosexuality. Wow. That's a buzzword. Wow. Wow. That's the LGBTQ community and, transgender and trans this and trans that. All those words just are such a devastating issue in our society currently. It wasn't always this way. When I was your age, there wasn't sensitivity for people of that persuasion. Maybe they were still in the closet. I don't know. But nobody cared how they felt. Nobody cared what they said because nobody listened. Now, everybody's sensitive about it. Even people who are just sensitive to other people. You see, the sensitivity is not to the issue of homosexuality. The sensitivity is to the people who are homosexual that will feel bad if you say anything. So you have a bunch of people whose empathy, sympathy, pours out to people who they feel are unnecessarily targeted by what your position is on homosexuality. It's not about the sin, it's about the person. We don't want the person to feel bad. So, guess what? So who talks about it? You can't talk about it. Because if you did talk about it, then you have all those people who are sensitive to other people saying that this is what we perceive, you're full of hate. You got hate speech. You hate other people. You hate people who are different than you.
Mm.
You hate people because in your mind, your God, your Savior, your Christ is not homosexual. He's heterosexual, and he only thinks that way, and that's the right way. And you got a passage out of Genesis that say God created man and woman, and that's what you believe. That's based on your belief. And so now they want to discredit the Bible. And so that whole argument just gets dissolved into, that's what you believe. That's what you believe. Alright? So that's a good one. That's a very realistic issue. That could be hazardous to your social life, your social circle, if you talk with boldness about homosexuality being wrong. Yeah, it's a good one. That's hazardous. That's risk-taking. And there are people who do it. And so then eventually that person is ostracized, kicked out of the group, don't like the controversy. All they do is talk about controversial stuff. You see? So very hazardous. What else? Is there another one?
Political stuff.
What is it?
Political, like
Oh, political. Absolutely. Politics. So, unfortunately, we have in America a situation where our country is divided, not just on subjects, but we divide on politics, Democrats, Republicans. And it seems to me, by my observance, my attention, that there are more Christians who are Republicans than Democrats. It seems to me that Christians vote more for Republicans because Republicans support issues that are important to them, which are what? This is the big one. In case you didn't know, I'll help you. Abortion. And the other is support of Israel. Those two issues, most Christians who are politically minded vote for candidates who align themselves with anti-abortion and strong support of the nation of Israel. And that comes from their Bible belief. So what they believe about the Bible puts them in a position to be a voter in the political scene, which is divided, these two being the main issues that divide the country. And they've been dividing the country since Roe versus v. Wade in 1975. Right? And since Israel in 1948. Now, if you go to your school, how many of you go to public school? You don't. But let's say that you're just hanging out with your classmates and you say, hey, let's have a discussion about abortion. Right? Tell me what happens.
I don't go to public school, but I went to college, and we did talk about it. Most of them support for pro-choice.
Right. I mean, you'll discover what people believe, but if you try to present them a Bible point of view, what does God think about abortion? Really, what does God think about abortion?
It's a murder.
Huh?
It's killing babies.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of Christians don't believe that. But again, the conversation won't be about the baby.